All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Instagram is always number one or long. Anyhow, anyhow you want to say it, Instagram is always number one. Atlanta, Baba. Babamuyiwa Fowowe, Atlanta, Georgia. Olu of Atlanta. Let's give you that title. All right, Facebook, YouTube, welcome. IG, how you guys doing today? I think I need to go back to I think I need to go back to TikTok. I need to go back to TikTok also. So we on TikTok we'll be able to play music. We'll be able to play music on TikTok. Okay. All right. Canada in the house, Nigeria in the house. Welcome everybody. Thank you. Please go ahead and share this video. Share this video. Share this video. Let's get a lot more people connected. Let's get a lot more people connected. And welcome everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. All right, so let's jump on the show for today quickly. Don't let me waste your time. I don't want to waste anybody's time today. My TikTok handle, the same name. It's the same name. If you search for it, you see it there. It's the same name. All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. It's 10:35 here. 10:35 here. Okay. I see people bouncing in and out. Okay. I don't know. Today is Thursday. I don't know. Thursday is good. It's a good day. It's not Friday. Friday is always very challenging sometimes. All right, let's go. You see, there are certain things that I think we need to watch, and we must be careful about these things. I I spoke with a lady some few days ago. Uh, I spoke with a lady some few days ago, and she called me by herself. She called me by herself, and she told me she was gonna kill herself. And I told her, I said, please, can we do video? I would like to see your face. Now, this is what we go through every day. All right. It's possible for you guys not to know. Okay. There is nobody without problem. Or everybody's got we all have something. We have something we are nursing. Àwọn èèyàn ní wèrè kéékèèké kò dìgbà téèyàn bá ń bugi jẹ ní títì. Before you have mental issue, there are the different levels of it. If you care to know, this is what we go through every day. Sometimes I just want to lock myself inside of the bathroom and just sit down there and not come out. Sometimes I just want to cover myself up and just be alone underneath that particular blanket and not come out. You see, once you know what people are going through, your orientation about life is going to change. But you're too busy. You're too busy to see what people go through every day. You're consumed with your own self. What you will eat, how you will pay your bills, how you will do this, and all you do is what God cannot do does not exist. That's where you go. That's what you are blind. You're blind to see. You are not seeing what people are going through. You need to become a pastor, or you need to be a therapist, or you need to be a counselor for you to understand that people are going through so much in life beyond their control. Now you may be thinking you're good, you're good, you're good. Some of you guys are hiding what you're going through. Some of you are hiding it. Your parent, you didn't tell your parents, you didn't tell your siblings, you didn't tell your family members. They don't know. Your friends. Some of you guys are on medication. And the kind of medication you're taking, you can't tell nobody. You can't tell nobody. You're hiding it. Ah, come back, come back, come back. Báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ gbọ́ pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́. So we hide all these things. You don't know. You don't understand what people go through. You just be there and be shouting, my Jesus, and let us pray, Father, Father. That's all you know. You don't know Jack. You don't know Jack. I just so much love this generation coming. This generation are asking questions. Our own generation is so dumb. We just follow what everybody is saying. When somebody is saying, let us pray, we all just go there and just be praying. This new generation coming, they ask you questions. How long are we supposed to pray? How long? Pray without ceasing. What do you mean by that? Break it down. Show me in the Bible. What's the breakdown? They don't just believe things. They ask questions. They ask questions. Questions. The people have been praying all this while are still in church, still praying, and still they are poor people, broken people. We're still praying without knowledge. So this young lady called me. She called me by herself. Oh, and you see, when people are going through this stuff, you're not fighting against anybody. They're fighting against themselves. Because it is you, yourself in your mind that will be telling you you're a failure. Give up. You're a failure. Give up. You're a failure. Give up. Then we'll be showing you example of other people that have made it. And then you see yourself as a failure, and it's a battle of the brain, battle of the mind. You can't control it because it is you talking to yourself, and you will always believe yourself. And the moment will come that will tell yourself, kill yourself. Just get it done. Get it done one time and you'll be out of this misery. You'll be talking to yourself. Not kidding. You're talking to yourself. So I asked her, where's your mother? It was like, the mother is not around, and she's about to kill herself. And I'm like, wait a minute, can we do video? She said, okay. So we turned it to video. I was looking at her, and she was having high blood pressure medicine pills, like almost about 20 of them in her hand. She was about to swallow them. That if you should take 2 of those things, your blood pressure is going to drop way low, that you're going to pass out. And now this person is about to take 20 of them. Yeah, that's the easiest way to kill somebody. The easiest way to kill yourself is just to swallow those pills, and you won't even have no control anymore. You'll just be gone. Your blood pressure will drop, your heartbeat will stop, and everything will be gone. I'm telling you. And I spoke with her. And I told her how beautiful she is. And I let her know that she's actually brilliant and smart. I told her she's the kind of a woman that everybody's looking for. I spoke with her. I said, there is nothing in this world worth dying for. If you die, it's going to be a pain to everybody, not you. You're gone. But you see, there's still so much that God wants to do through you. There's still a lot of people that God wants to touch. Thousands of people that God wants you to touch and educate them. God has placed something in your hand that He wants to use. You don't want to handle it like this. You have not even gone to Judea. You've not gone to Samaria. You've not gone to the uttermost part of the world. Internet is still waiting to know you. Nigerians are waiting to hear your voice. People are waiting on the sideline just to listen to what God has done through you and for you. If you handle like this, do you know how many people you're going to be hurting? Not just only you, not just me, thousands of people that are waiting. I was on the call for like a few minutes, and she was able to pipe down. I said, put those pills back in the bottle. And she was like, I wish I'm next to your house. I wish I live very close to you. I was like, but you don't. You live almost about 6 hours away from me. It's about, thank God for technology. Put those pills back in the bottle. So she did. I said, put them away. So she put them in the cabinet. I was watching her. So when she dropped everything, I said, can you send your mommy's number to me? So she did. And I called the mother. And we had a talk. Then I called her back. And what she told me, actually, I could relate with it. And so many children today are actually inside of these stuff. And it's actually the problem of parenting. You caused it. You and your husband destroyed your kids. You guys are destroying your children. When you favor a kid over the other one, that's what you're doing. While she was young, she was always eating and eating and eating, so she grew fat. And then the mom, call her fatty. The daddy will call her fatty. And they make fun of her. And then they use her little sister as an example to her. Can't you see her? She doesn't eat a lot. Look at how beautiful she is. Look at how ugly you are. You don't understand. It gets into the head that when she's actually in the bathroom, that's what she's hearing. When she's lying down, that's what she's hearing. When she goes to school, the school people in school, they were actually calling her the same name in school. Call her the same name in school. They ridicule her in school too. If somebody is telling you are a fat person in school and your mom is telling you, no, you are beautiful, you believe your mom because it's your mom. You believe your dad because it's your dad. But if your dad is saying the same thing, your mom is saying the same thing, it's going to crush you. Then you believe both of them. You believe everybody. You believe the outsiders. You believe your parent. And that's what is going to actually be in your brain for a long time. And you see, when you are fighting the battle of the mind, it is not the devil that is talking to you. You are the one talking to yourself. And that's where it's dangerous. If the devil is talking to you, yeah, it's possible for you to just look away and say, okay, it's the devil talking to me. But by the time you're talking to yourself, it's actually difficult to control such because you are talking to yourself. You believe in yourself. You have control over yourself. For you to believe the positive part is going to be difficult because you're talking to yourself. It's a battle of your own mind. You're talking to yourself. You believe in it. Shola, you're ugly. I'm the one saying it to myself. I'll believe myself. How do you want me to handle that? I need somebody else to tell me you got to have to stand against yourself. You're going to have to fight against yourself. Fight against your own imagination and your thought. You have to fight against it. You have to stop it. How do I stop that? I've been fed with this stuff all my life. Growing up, this is what I've been hearing. My dad been saying this. Everybody on the street is saying this. My mom would say the same thing. Now I'm fat. Now I look ugly. I see myself in the mirror. I just feel like let me just die. You're good for nothing. You're good for nothing. You talk to yourself. You see, in Africa, we always spiritualize every little thing. Okay, well, is the devil talking to him? Oh, powers and principality are the one. Is there any voices? Is it the voice you're hearing is your voice? It's your own voice. That's you talking. You are re-echoing what people are saying. You're talking all these things back to yourself. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time you believe yourself. And the moment you start believing yourself, that's how you go down. And you start drowning. And then the moment you're going down, the next thing you want to do is the whole world is going to be closing up against you. I've been there before. I know this feeling. I know how it feels. It's going to be like the entire world is going to collapse on you and you just want to, let me just die. Let me just kill myself and go. That's how you feel. When you talk about panic attack, you talk about depression and all kinds of stuff, you think it's a joke? You just think, oh, somebody is having depression. Say, come out of it in Jesus' name. Come out of it in Jesus. You think that's the way it works? That's not the way it is. If you have never been in depression, real depression, I'm not talking about you being sad. I'm not talking about this, I'm sad. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You can be sad all day long. You can bounce back from your sadness. Something made you actually knock you down to that point of sadness. You can bounce out of it if that thing is gone. But when you're talking about depression, you don't have control about your on your own feelings. You don't have control on it. You don't have, you can't say, yeah, I'm getting up and walking away. You can't say, I want to take a bath. No, you're not. You don't have control. You don't have control. I lock myself up. I sit right here. I sit like right in the dark. I just want to turn the whole light off. I don't want to turn the whole light off. I don't want nobody talking to me. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be there because I'm hearing something in my head. Whereas I'm the one talking to myself. Talking to myself. If you have never been there, forget about it. You can't understand. You will continue to say all manners of things. You say, oh, it's a spiritual attack, it's a spiritual whatever, it's a whatever. You don't understand what you're going through. You don't understand what it means. You don't understand that you have been damaged. This is a mental case that needs the attention of a therapist. Quickly. Quickly. That needs the attention of a therapist. Quickly. I'm telling you. I spoke to the little young lady. She put the pills back, but in my brain, it's still a little difficult for me to process it. That okay, I didn't mean she didn't call me. I didn't mean she didn't call me, and she took those pills. Oh, I've been there before as well, doctor. See, somebody else is there talking about it. I didn't mean she didn't call me. I didn't mean she took those 20 pills, or maybe more than 20 pills, but everything, she poured it in her hand and she was about to swallow them all. Oh, if I didn't pick a call, yes, heaven knows where she'll be right now. And I told her about my own case. I told her that I've been there before too. I get so depressed and I hear voices. I will sit down in the bathroom and close the door. I might be there for 3 hours. Then I'll come out. And everything's gonna be like as if it's in slow motion. I can't feel myself. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't even want to leave. I got to that level. It was so terrible, so bad. I had to be seeing my therapies once in a week. Then I was taking medication and all that. So when I'm talking based on experience. I'm not just talking on the surface that so many of you don't understand. And see what we've been doing. And let me tell you mine. Something happened when I was very young too. Very, very young. And I was a bad kid. I was a very terrible kid. I didn't choose that life. I didn't choose the life. Probably I found myself on the street and something happened. Something happened. Very true, Dr. Shala. My husband compares my children a lot with other children, and they hate him for that. I didn't choose that life, but something happened anyway, so I became bad. I was on the street. I was doing whatever it is. I don't, difficult for me to explain what happened. I grew up in a Christian family. My mom, my dad, it's all about church, church, church. But I ended up on the street. Something happened. And my dad, we actually compare me to my sister, my brothers, everybody. And sometimes he will call me a bastard. Many times he locked me out of the house and so much. And whenever we're going to school, he will give my sister 300 naira for 1 week, and he will give me just only 100 naira. Myself and my sister, we're both in the same school, but my sister will get 300 naira and I'll get 100. So my mom will actually come behind to give me another extra 100. I'll go to school. And I started developing hatred for my sister who didn't offend me. My sister that didn't offend me, I started hating my sister. And she didn't do nothing. But I could see my dad seems to love her more than me. If if my name should appear in anything, the kind of anger that is going to put behind the punishment for me is going to be like as if the devil has visited me. But when it comes to my sister will get away with everything. Everything. Never get beat up, nothing. Never, he never punished my sister. But I get punished every day. Even if it's not me, just lie that it's me. There won't be necessary, there won't be, they won't even think of, let's go do investigation. I'm actually in. And this guy will go and bring the shoe and eat my head. And instead of me hating him, I started hating my sister. I started hating my sister. And as we grew up, I planned, I started planning something. I started planning something. And I was telling God, I said, God, if you should bless me, I'm going to show these people. I will show these people hell. But not my mom. Not my mom. No. So in that my situation, I was bad. I was terrible. But my mom she didn't leave me. My mom spread out the love among all of his children. Okay, he didn't care maybe you're doing well or you're not doing well. This one is doing better than this one. No. She was able to spread out the love that none of us could feel who is our favorite. Sometimes when we hold meetings, I would say, oh, it seems like mommy loved Diola more than me. And he would say, no, it seems like mommy loved you more than me. I'm kind of like, how do you know that? She was able to balance up the love, but my dad couldn't do that. He was able to show us who his favorite is. He was able to show us that. And we could see it. And that one messed up a lot of things between myself and my sister, between my brother and my sister and stuff. And I started planning revenge. I'm not going to lie to you. Now I'm a straight shooter. I shoot straight. That was what I was planning. I started planning revenge. That if God should bless me, because he didn't believe I could be good. He didn't believe anything good could come out of my Jerusalem or my Nazareth. He didn't believe that. He concentrated on my sister. Oh, this is the one. Guys, sometimes you'll make a big mistake. You make a big mistake. Don't label your children. Don't compare your children. Don't tear your children apart. You don't know tomorrow. You don't know tomorrow. If a kid is not doing well, doesn't mean that it's not going to do well. It might not do well academically. Maybe there are other things that is inside of that kid that God has placed there that will make him to become a star. You don't even know. Every time we always want to place, being smart, being brilliant on just your grades in school. No. It's much more than that. Some people can be book smart and some people can be street smart. And some people can actually balance up the two together and have both. I've said it to you guys many times here that when I was in school, there was this guy in my class that if the teacher should ask a question and this guy, every one of us will look at the guy. If this guy doesn't know the answer, we are all dead. And the day I saw the guy, the most brilliant guy in our class, I saw him. I went to fix my tire in Nigeria, and this guy was the guy who was to fix my tire for me. I look at his face. I was like, "Do you remember me?" I was like, "No." I mentioned my name, and he jumped up. I was like, "Whoa!" I mean, I'm not. I was at that point. I wasn't even number 2 or number 3 or number 4 in school. Probably I would be like number 17 out of 20 students. Don't you? Because I focus more on sport and being a bad boy than just reading. Focus more on that one. You know? So sometimes the race is not for the fastest. Some people can run, but they might not win. Some people may be strong. They might look strong. They might not win the battle. They might wrestle against someone that is timid and that guy may win. It's about strategy. It's not about strength. It's not about how fast you could run. It's about the strategy. So sometimes you might think this kid is going to be the one that will make it. Or that kid is going to be the one to make it. Or you're looking at some kids outside of your home and you want your kid to be like them. And at that point in time, you start comparing your children, you're killing your kids. You're killing your kids. Go and ask Davido. Go and ask Fela Anikulapo Kuti. They sent them to school to go and study. They found out I'm not for this. I'm not for this. There's something in me that I must bring out. Most of the time, fathers don't support their kids when they want to go and do a movie. They don't support their kids when they want to go and do music. They don't support their kids when they want to be an artist. They don't support their kids when they want to be a dancer. They don't support their kids when they want to be anything. Oh, I want my kid to be doctor. You must be lawyer. You must be this. My dad wanted me to be a veterinary doctor. You know what I'm saying? Then we start comparing. Comparing. And there are some children that are not that strong. There are some kids that are not that strong. It will get to them. It will mess them up. They will become suicidal. It's not because they want to, it's just because they've been hearing so much. And then they themselves will start re-echoing it to themselves. Now become a kind of a voice in the head. There's this tiny voice in the head that is going to be talking to you. You'll be hearing it. I don't know, maybe you guys have been experiencing this. Like my telephone, my ringtone, the ringtone on my telephone, I still hear it in my head. Even though my phone is not ringing, sometimes I get up. I start looking for my phone. Like I think my phone is ringing. Something's ringing in my head. It's just in your head. Is this something you'll be hearing this for a long time? It has registered in your brain, and sometimes the brain will play it back to you. It's going to play it back to you. Sometimes I'll get up, like I will go to the door, like as if but somebody just pushed the bell. Somebody pressed the bell just now. No, they didn't. Just in your brain. A time will come that the brain will actually reproduce that sound. It's in my head. I've been listening to this stuff. I've been going through it. So I started planning revenge. Just imagine, my sister didn't offend me. Myself and my sister, we didn't talk for almost about 7 years. I'm not talking about when we were young. I'm talking about when we got mature. She got married, I got married, we were gone and stuff. And for 7 years, I didn't talk to my sister. And it wasn't because of what she did to me. It was because of what my father did that made me to actually, I just hated my sister for no reason. I just hated my sister for no reason because my dad teared us apart. Gave her more attention than myself. So I told myself if I should make it in life, I'll show you guys. I almost did it. I almost did it. I almost did. But one day my mother called me. And my mother told me, says, do you know the meaning of Adaniloro Fagbara Koni? I said, no. I said, sit down, let me explain it. So I sat down next to her. I still remember it was in the living room in Ring Road in Ibadan. Our living room is huge. So they had 2 couches on this side, 2 on this side, and 2 on this side, 2 love seats right there, and then the center table in the middle, kind of like far away from each other. So she sat me down. She said, when people are walking you like a slave, when people are pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, sometimes they might not know that they are actually developing you and they're making you stronger. And you might not even know that they are not doing it because they know, not because they wanted to train you, but God is using them to train you to become strong. Say you're going to see what you become. Don't mind your father. Don't mind him. That kind of like gave me a little relief to change my mind from actually taking a revenge and stuff. And when God wanted to try me, when he wanted to test me, my dad had an accident. And he was admitted at the hospital. And at that time, I had some money in my pocket. I went to Nigeria at that time. And they asked us for 4 million naira, thereabout, at the UCH, that without the money, they would not start treatment. And if they are not able to start treatment, it's possible for him to die. And the money that was with me was actually meant for my own house project that I wanted to do in Nigeria. And right there, I went straight to my bank and I withdrew the money and I brought it to the hospital to treat that same father. I was thinking, wow, why should I spend my money on him? Why should I spend my money? Why? But my mother already had a talk with me, and God put me to test, and I did it. And when the guy started recovering, because myself and my brother, we started taking turns at the hospital. I'll stay today, he will stay tomorrow. I'll stay in the morning, he will come and stay in the night. Sometimes I'll stay in the night, he will stay in the morning and stuff. So we were there. And when the man opened his eyes, I looked at me, he called my name, he said, Badibo. I said, sir. He said, Oshio. Like as if he knew he has done something bad to me, and what I've done, he himself wasn't expecting it. He himself wasn't expecting what I did. That I could give up my money for him. He wasn't really expecting that to happen. I remember when I became born again. Actually, I wasn't really born again, but I went to church and I said I wanted to be born again. And I came back home and I shared the news with my mom that I just gave my life to Jesus again after 6 times of being baptized. And after, after the baptism, I'll go back to what I was doing before. So this 7th time I came back home and I told my mom, I said, I gave my life to Jesus again. And my dad started laughing. And he said to my mom, he said, is about to scam them in that new church. That is going to scam them in that new church. Just watch it. So it was because of what he said. That statement made me. That statement actually made me. And I told myself, I am going to disappoint this guy. I'm going to disappoint this guy. This guy. I was like, okay. I look at the face of my mom. She was excited. She was just thanking God for what I said. But my dad was making fun of it. Like, okay, he's about to go and scam them in church. I was like, I'm going to disappoint this guy for this. I will disappoint you for this. So that made me, there's so many times I wanted to leave. Many times I wanted to go back into smoking weed. I wanted to go back into doing what I was doing before. But that word, that statement continues to kind of like ring a bell in my head. And I said, I will disappoint him. I will disappoint him. And in the middle of the night, I'll tell myself, no, you're not going back. And I look at the face of my mom. I was like, I'll make that woman proud. I'm going to make her proud. I'm going to make her proud. And that was how I stood my ground. I didn't go back. And one day they sent me to Bible school. And I was about to do my graduation. I invited my dad and my mom, but my dad didn't show up. And my mother was there. And after the graduation, I went back to church to start preaching. And one day I came home and my dad called me our Father in the Lord. I was shocked. I'm talking about many years after. I'm talking about many years after I've gone through hell. I've done so much, kinds. And then he called me our Father in the Lord. Can you pray for us? It was kind of like in a family gathering, and normally you're supposed to respect an ordained man of God. Respect an ordained man of God and ask the ordained man of God to pray. So he called me our Father in the Lord. Can you pray for us? So I did, with tears rolling down my eyes, and that of my mom too. So you see, sometimes we tear our children apart because we put a lot of love on one and we push the other one away. But understand that you think you're having fun. You're not. What you're doing is you're damaging the mind of that one. You're damaging that one. You're damaging that one. Damaging. So that young lady had over 20 pills in her hand and she wanted to swallow them. But she called me. And we had a video call. And I was able to bring her down. And after she put the whole pill back, I called the mother. And I asked the mother, why call her fat? And she was like, we didn't know that this is how she's going to take it. I was like, do you know that in America, you are not supposed to call anybody fat? So, well, we are from Africa. We didn't know. So, do you know what will happen to them when they go to school? She's not just only being bullied by students in school. She's being bullied by her own parents. And where do you think she's going to find that comfort? In school, on the street, or at home? But think about it. She turned to school. Nobody's there to support her. She's home. You guys are against her. On the street, everybody's against her. You understand? You know what I'm saying? So myself and my sister, we disconnected for 7 years. Didn't talk to my sister for 7 years. Not because of what she did. She didn't do nothing to me. But I was just angry that they picked her. They gave her everything. They gave her money. They gave her support. They pushed her. That was one of our family friends, a school daughter to my mom. In those days, people do have school daughter, school son, and all that. So the lady happens to be the school daughter to my mom, and she is very, very close to the family. And the husband is highly placed and stuff. So my sister wanted a job, and my sister went to the guy. The guy gave her a job like instantly. And me, I left school and I was looking for a job. And I told myself, I said, why don't you go there? Probably you will get a job too. And I went over there and this guy judged me based on my character. All those things I've been doing, judged me based on that. And he started flashing it right in my face. I could, at this moment I'm sitting, I could see myself sitting in his office, and I was just like this. And this guy kept on going, and it was going on me. And at the end of the day, it was like, I can't give you no job. So I stood up and I walked away. I went all the way down that building, took a bus all the way home. I stopped by at the place and I bought a pack of cigarette. I smoked myself away. I sat down on the fence and I started thinking. I told myself, you know what? Just stay on the street. The street is where everybody loves you. That's where they have accepted you. Stay on the street. You know what I'm saying? You will see what we do, the kind of damage we do to our children, and we believe that we are training them. See, this brain up here is very fragile. This brain, very fragile. That's why God had to create a skull to protect it. But the skull is not going to protect it if your words are penetrating it. The skull could only protect it from external forces, as in probably something that could destroy it physically. But you see, the word you speak to your children is actually penetrating into their heads. The skull is not able to stop that. It's going in. And they absorb this word, and their brain is being messed up, their mind messed up, and they hear voices in their head. And some of them now talk to themselves, say, can't you just terminate your life? Or just hate this person. Like I hated my sister for 7 years, we didn't talk at all. And you know one funny thing? Whenever I go to church to preach, I still preach about forgiveness. I tell the people, forgive whosoever has offended you. And right there, all the time when I speak about forgiveness, I always remember, like, have you forgiven your sister? What exactly did she do? And right there, I'll be talking back to myself like she didn't do nothing. She's only suffering for the crime of my dad. And I think that's right. No, it's not right. And I see a lot of preachers too. They preach about forgiveness, but they refuse to forgive their own parents. They refuse to forgive their own brothers. They refuse to forgive anybody. They don't forgive nobody, but they preach about it. They preach about it all the time. Forgive. How many people have you forgiven? And that was why I said something sometimes ago. Do you know that the prayer, Christian prayer, is different from the prayer they pray in Judaism? You see, all of those ones, when they go to synagogues, the prayer of John the Baptist and his disciples, Jesus going into the synagogue and praying and reading the scrolls and all that, those kind of prayers are not Christian prayers. They are prayers in Judaism. So Jesus Christ now, when the disciples came to him and said, why are you not going to teach us to pray? He didn't say pray like we've been praying when we go to synagogue. And he didn't say pray like John the Baptist is praying with his disciples. He didn't say that. He said, if you ever want to pray, pray like this. And the template of the prayer that you put on the ground is, none of us could pray. None of us is qualified to pray the prayer of Christianity. We are not qualified to pray it. We are too sinful to pray that prayer. When you look at it, it said, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Do you know how many people you have that you're holding in your heart that have offended you and you have refused to forgive them? Which means to me that God is never going to forgive you of your own sins because you have refused to obey him. Because what he's saying is that forgive other people so that I could forgive you. Think about it. We hold people in our hearts. We hold them. So one day, I called my sister by myself. I called her by myself. And the conversation was probably like about 2 seconds. The whole thing was just 2 seconds. Two seconds. Hello? Just checking on you. And I dropped. And there was so much joy. You know, that kind of a relief, kind of a joy that I rushed into the bedroom and I told my wife, do you know I called my sister? I was like, no way. When? I said, just now. I did. I called my sister. I was like, what did she say? I said, nothing. I just called. I said, just checking on you, and I hung up. And my wife was like, wow, you've done well. You've done well. Call her again later. I said, yes, I'll try. I'll call her later. And I couldn't wait for the second day. So I called again second day. And then we talked a little bit, maybe like 2 minutes. And then I was so excited again. And I called again. And I called again. And I called again. And I called again. And I continued to call. And then gradually, I started feeling that relief from my heart. You know, something I carried for, I don't know, for over 30, 40 years. I carry over 30, 40 years of bitterness within me. That I hated my sister, I hated my dad, I never wanted to see them. That you see, whenever I buy a ticket and I said I'm going home to see my mom. That's what I say. I always say that I'm going home to see my mother. And whenever they want to do anything at home and then they are looking for money, they will push my mom to ask me. My mom is not going to say they, it will say I need. And if my mother should say I need this, I will empty my bank account for that woman. I'm telling you. And they knew it. So they always send my mother to me. And she'll call me and she'll first of all do a little bit of Oriki, you know, or Monube Go, you know, Omo Arerugbeni, Omo Kinikon. You know, she will do all that. Actually, I've forgotten. I could have recorded I could have recorded this stuff. She will do all that stuff, and I'll say, "Mommy, Kilefe, what do you want?" And she will tell me what. And I said, Mommy, don't worry about it. I'll send you money right now. Right? I'm sending you money right now. Check your bank account right now. It's coming there. And I'll quickly go to Western Union. I'll run to Western Union and go and send money to my mom. And you know, at that point in time, they go to the bank to go and collect dollars and stuff, and then she go and change it as Sabo and all kinds of stuff. And once in a while, when my mom will be like, okay, your dad, you know how mommies do. They know that they know you don't want to talk to your dad. They know. And then they will intentionally call you when your dad is around. And then they say, oh, daddy, if ever is around. Daddy, if here. I'm saying, mommy. Say, Mom, daddy, if here. And before I could say Jack, she will give the phone to him. And that one will say, hello. I'll say hello. I say, oh, yeah, sometimes I want to tell him that I want how mobile. But there's still that stuff in me that will still hold me and say, oh, busy ni. Oh, busy, oh, busy. I'm busy, sir. You know, that's how I talk. I talk like that. That's how I say it. I say, I'm busy ni. You know, I'm busy. Don't be asking me these questions, man. What stupid questions are you asking me? You know how you beat me up when I was young? You know all the punishment I went through when I was young? You know I wasn't free to do anything when I was young? You actually pampered the other person over me? You gave her 300 naira and you give me 100 naira. How do you want me to survive in school? You want me to go and steal? Am I not your son? Do you know how many times you kicked me out of the house that I had to walk all the way to school with no money? Then my sister, my brother, my dad would not start sending my mom would not start sending my brother to bring me food in school. You know what I'm saying? That I was full of anger. I was full of hatred in me. But I couldn't release it. I couldn't. And when I called my sister, and then we started talking and we talk. Um, many times we talked. And eventually, we started talking constantly and with the rest of the guys, my brothers, my other sisters. I have a little sister that I love so much too. You know, love my little sister big time. My little sister. She's in Canada. Love her so much. Then we started talking. Then we are all grown. Um, then you know, then mommy died. You know, then daddy died. Then we are all left alone. Then at this time, how do you fight? You're not supposed to be fighting now. The guy who started this stuff is gone. All right, we are here. You didn't do nothing to me. So this moment right now is more of mending the past, talking and being free. Um, you know, and there are still so many young men just exactly like me, right in the society today. There are some ladies that are just exactly like me in the society today. There's still a lot of them like that. They're exactly like me. Exactly like me. And they still have that bitterness. They still carry that hatred just because of what their father, what their mother did. Do you know some mothers abandon their children just to marry somebody else and left those kids to suffer without a father, without a mother? Some of those kids were left with their dads, and the dad couldn't help them out. Do you know how many people hate their mothers right now? They don't even want to see her. They don't even want to see her at all. They don't even want to see her at all. They don't. And so many of these people have been broken, and it's affecting their marriage now. Because you can see, you don't understand. Many of you will never get it. You see that some people got broken when they were with their parents. Just like myself, I was broken when I was with my parents. Maybe I was lucky. Maybe I was lucky I surrendered to Jesus very, at that time that I did. And And I found a woman that is, ready to go through it with me. Ready to go through it with me. So it's more like a support group, support system for my life, support person. There's so many people carrying bitterness. Somebody said, whenever I say I don't like my mom, people look at me. Growing up, my mom broke me. Had bias parenting until tomorrow I hate my sister to the extent I don't want my husband close to my mom. See what I'm saying? Somebody said it's been 5 years since I stopped talking to my older brother. We both live in the US. My mother never liked me. See? I'm telling you. It's there. It's there. Sometimes we behave in a way and then people ask us why. It's because of what you've been through. What your mother, what your father, what they put you through when you were very young. You could see them. You could see them. It's kind of like really glaring. You know who they care about. You know who they love. You know who they're going to die for. Unknown to me for decades, my senior brother had hatred and bitterness for me because of what he said mommy did. The day he was telling me, he was sobering seriously. I hope we extend grace to some of these parents. Some don't know better and ignorance. It's not that easy to forgive. We need to ask the Holy Spirit to help. Let me open my telephone. For those that may want to call in. I have people that may want to call in and just share one thing or the other, with us this moment. Let me put the number on the screen here for those that may want to. You 4050 55055135. You'll be so surprised that you see some people don't want to have anything doing with their mothers. Some don't want to have anything to do with their dad. Some people that have cut off from their own siblings. They don't even talk to their own sisters. They don't talk to their own brothers. And it's not right. You can't tear people apart. You can't tear your kids apart. You can't be showing favoritism over, and be separating your kid label. You don't label the kids, and label one to be bad and label one to be good, and you think this one cannot make it? You'll be shocked. Because life is going to spin. Life is going to spin. And by the time life is spinning, it might not spin to your favor. Because the kid that you think that will not make it may be the one to make it. The one that you think is going to make it may not be the one to make it. That's why you don't love one over the other. Even though it's possible for us to feel it, that this one listens to me more than this one. But they're both from you. That's your blood. That's your gene. Whatever you see is you. It's from you. That's you right there. The kid is not a bastard. It's from you. That's your character. That's who you are. Until now, I still see people still tell me, oh, you look like your dad, you talk like your dad, you act like your dad. I say, yes, because myself and him, we look alike, we are the same, and we do not like each other. Let me pick this call. Hello?
Shola.
Hello?
Hello, Pastor Shola.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Concerning the program this morning, this
Yeah.
is exactly the story.
Yeah.
My mom had 7 kids,
Okay.
and somehow I was tagged the black sheep of the family
Mm.
because I was not as brilliant as my
Mm.
remaining siblings.
Yeah.
So they probably felt, I couldn't make it, and my mom was supposed to make me feel, at home.
Mm-hmm.
But rather, whenever she sees me, she makes statements like, "Oh, the umagbo yo,"
Mm.
and so on. And I felt so less of myself that I was brought up in this strong Christian home, but whatever she was doing broke me,
Yeah.
and I started to roll with people I wasn't supposed to,
Yeah.
roll with in order to get comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So, my sister, so I had a stepsister that my dad adopted, and she saw that energy and she took advantage of it
Mm.
and would report me as, any given opportunity
Yeah.
just to be tagged that black sheep.
Mm.
And disrespect was also coming from my siblings.
Mm.
They didn't want to see me. I became, when you get to the gate of my house, I have to put on another appearance. Like I was always very defensive,
Mm.
right? I became a very toxic child.
Wow.
But not that that was not me. I needed to put on the appearance in order to survive in that house.
Mm.
And guess what? They thought I was not going to make it. But the
Mm.
only person that never reminded me of my failure was my dad.
Mm.
Never did. And God turned my story around all of a sudden.
Glory.
I started to hustle and
Mm.
I came to the US. They were shocked.
Wow.
And the day my sister heard I got my visa, they
Mm.
started to cry because I didn't tell nobody.
Mm.
But I understood her tears. Like they didn't see it happening to me.
Mm.
They didn't see my story, turning around. And guess what?
Yeah.
They all rely on me
Mm.
today.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, my mom is with me here in the US.
Mm.
But that relationship, I'm this child that is very, very forgiving. I had to
Mm.
call my sister out because I couldn't imagine keeping, malice or not talking to them.
Mm.
You hardly know me. You had a false narrative about me
Yeah.
because of, whatever my mom was doing, whatever my sister did. And my brothers inherited it. But today, I was able to forgive them and I told them their mistakes. And today we are best of friends. But it's just that my mom, she's with me, but that relationship is not, because when I was in that house with them, I would always
Yeah.
lock myself in the room. So it's already an habit. And she feels
Yeah. So
it's now
you have already disconnected from her.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not able to, have that rapport with her. I've forgiven her. I don't hold any hand against her.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that, the deed is already done. I've forgiven her, but I am not. I got so comfortable being in that,
Being by
having
yourself.
an actual
Yeah.
conversation with
Yeah.
her. I've forgiven
Yeah.
her. Yes, she prayed for me and everything. But a lot of parents, they make
Mm.
this mistake
Yeah.
by, using one kid to pamper the
To
other.
pamper the other.
And
Yeah.
I would tell you, my mother made me attempt to sex life because I felt, useless.
Yeah. 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 But in the middle of it, God turned it around. And
Oh,
today
God turned it
today you
around.
are a very strong woman based on what you've been through.
Yeah, that Yoruba bad Okutata Kosile.
Yeah. It's not
So
Yoruba, it's the Bible. That's Bible. It's
so
Bible.
that's exactly what happened.
Adi patagi gunle. That's it.
Oh yes, they
Mm.
would never do anything in that family
Without consulting you. That's how it is. Parents need to learn this. You need to learn about this. And even you yourself, my sister, now you're married, now you have your children. You should learn from what you have been through. Never let
Yes,
it repeat
yes.
itself.
My mom helps with my kids.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking to, but I'm not going to mention the name.
All right, please
My
don't talk.
mom,
Don't
my
tell
mom
me.
helps. Yeah, she helps with the kids, but she's kind of making the same mistake with my first daughter.
Mm.
And I'm like, no, don't do that. You did this to me. I tell you, it doesn't end well.
You don't
But
do
I
it to
think
my
African
yeah.
parents are just programmed that way.
Mm.
I don't know. I think they are programmed that way to want to feel like they're correcting you, but they are not. They're actually damaging you.
Yeah, not damaging you, damaging. There's so many things that we need to change from our culture. We need to change certain
Mm-hmm.
things,
Yeah.
and don't use one kid to favor another or to love one kid over another. And that kid that you are pushing aside is not dumb. He's looking at you,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuff is messing up his mind. And the next thing is actually thinking of revenge, and it's not going to only hate you; it's going to hate everybody in that family.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we thank God, man. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. And God bless
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Yeah.
You know, this is what we're talking about here. It's serious. Thank God that lady, the lady the other day called me. I didn't mean she didn't call me. And if I didn't pick up the call at that time, to be able to do a video call with her, what do you think we're going to be saying today? There was this young lady who committed suicide. He killed himself in New York City. Actually, she's a brilliant student, top in her class, and all kinds of stuff. And she killed herself. She went all the way to the 16th building, 16th story of a building, and she jumped down and killed herself. If we dig into it, it's possible for us to see that our life, got messed up, probably at home. Probably at home or somewhere. So we need to understand all this stuff. We need to understand them. There are so many people carrying bitterness in their hearts today. And the bitterness is now being transferred to their husbands or to their wives. Okay? They didn't get to treat themselves. They didn't get to go for therapy. They're still carrying that bitterness. It's still in them. It's affecting their marriage, it's affecting their kids, affecting everything around them. If you are that person, you still carry bitterness. You're still hangering over the past. This is the time for you to go and see a therapist. This is the time. This is time for you to let go. That pain, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Your parent didn't believe in you. They have said all manners of things about you. But look at where God has placed you. So you don't want to continue to be angry. You want to look at it and say, okay, God must have used them to push you to get to where you are. That's why the enemies are very important. They are needed. Enemies are very important in our lives. They push us. They push us to do well. They push us to do good. They make us stronger. That's what they do to us. That's what they do to us. And secondly, if you have been going through depression, you're hiding away from people. Times you want to just be in the dark. At times you just want to cover yourself up. You just want to cut yourself away. And then you're hearing voices in your head. Ah, it's time to talk. Because you must to fight your own thought and imagination. You have to fight yourself and tell yourself, no, I'm done. I'm done with all this negativity. I want positive things in my life now. You're done with it. You're done with it. You have to. There's a therapist friend of mine that actually went into depression. And for almost a year, I didn't get to see her. And eventually she came back and she said, well, something happened. I said, what happened? She said, She was depressed for a year, and she had to take medication. So she actually disconnected from the business for some time just to cool her head down and to be back. You see, this that we do, talk to people all the time, people who rub their problems on you. It's not easy for me to treat my clients just as ordinary clients. Whatever you're going through is going to rub on me. I have to feel your pain. I have to talk to you. It's going to leave me broken too. So I must know exactly what to do to my own self when I'm done. It's all about knowledge. It's all about knowledge right there. You have to be knowledgeable. Understand that you are carrying the burden of others. You must be very careful how you handle it. And you have to take care of your own self also. Also. I know a mother that told her son that he is the only one that killed his dad. Well, that's crazy right there. It's crazy. So I think we've done a good job today. Thank you everybody for coming. I have for some few more minutes to resume at work. I have to go and turn my computer on just to start work for today. And I want to quickly just ask you guys that if you live in Houston, Texas, and you know any vacancy or vacant place for church, please let me know. If you know any place for church, please let me know. Our church, we're looking for a more better space, a place where we could put our signboard outside, a place where we will be in control. Please, in case you find any place or you have any place that will be useful, reach out to me either through my telephone number or probably you can leave me an inbox message. I will definitely respond to you. And thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I'll see you guys later. By the grace of God. Have a beautiful day, guys. And enjoy your Thursday afternoon.